Hey there everyone! Here in this video we will focus on a specific type of general statements that highlights cause and effect as well as reasons justifying the result. These statements are tremendously useful in paragraph development since they create a structured progression of actions that originate from a cause and lead to a specific result. In this series of actions, each statement functions as a link in a chain of events. If you want to enhance writing development using cause and effect statements, please do not miss this video and keep watching it to the end. Alright, before I talk about the mechanics of cause and effect statements, let's look at an example where we can find a series of events that depend on each other. In other words, a cause and effect situation. What happens if we burn fossil fuels? Everyone knows that burning fossil fuels can cause air pollution, which in turn lead to negative consequences such as health issues and climatic changes. In this case, let's go on with climatic changes. Air pollution can cause a rise in the level of greenhouse gases, mainly CO1 and CO2. A rise in the level of CO1 and CO2 can contribute to global warming, which is not good for animals and humans and other creatures. Global warming can lead to melting ice caps and glaciers in the polar areas. This story continues. The water will add to the oceans and we will face a rise in sea levels. And what happens as a result? The repercussion could be disappearance of several islands and many coastal cities around the world. But it doesn't stop here. We can think that lots of animals will lose their natural habitats and we will lose biodiversity. Also, humans will lose their homes. Can we continue? Sure, it can continue for such a long journey. Humans can move to central areas and that can cause a lot of overpopulation problems and something related to that. So this vicious cycle, in this case, can continue for as long as we continue that. Let's look at the paragraph using these ideas. Burning fossil fuels leads to air pollution, which contributes to the increase in greenhouse gases, resulting in global warming. This in turn causes ice caps and glaciers to melt, leading to a rise in sea levels that may result in the disappearance of some islands and coastal cities, ultimately destroying natural habitats for both animals and humans. Look at the red expressions. These discourse markers or linking devices help us combine the statements and make complex or complex compound sentences. Let me explain them to you one by one. As I told you earlier, it's important to be able to use linking devices or linkers to show the logical connections between the steps and convey the cause and effect in the paragraph and combine these statements. The following verbs connect your statements: lead to, result in, cause, induce, provoke, bring about, give rise to, make way for. Do you remember the context? How can we use these verbs? Burning fossil fuels can result in air pollution. Air pollution can bring about negative consequences such as health issues. An increase in air pollution can give rise to an increased greenhouse gases. An increase in greenhouse gases can contribute to global warming. Global warming can lead to melting ice caps and glaciers. Melting ice caps and glaciers can result in the rise of sea levels. Those were the verbs. Now we can use some adverbs to start our sentences with. For example, as a result. consequently, subsequently, accordingly, thereby. Now, how can we use these adverbs to convey cause and effect in our essay writing? We can start our sentences with them, putting a comma right next to them. Remember that thereby is an exception, which is usually followed by a gerund. Let's look at the same context and make some example sentences. Burning fossil fuels increases the amount of pollution in the air. As a result, there will also be more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, thereby accelerating global warming. Subsequently, ice caps and glaciers in the polar areas will start melting. Consequently, there will be a rise in sea levels, and so on and so forth. There are also some adverbs that focus on the result of an action more than the reason behind it. In other words, the effect is more important. For example, therefore, thus, hence. These adverbs focus more on the result of the action rather than the cause. They focus on what happens next as a result of what happened. For example, factories and vehicles burn fossil fuels and make the air polluted. Therefore, there will be an increased amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Hence, global warming will be a bigger threat in human life in the near future. Remember that hence is more formal. All right, it's your turn to write a paragraph. Let's think about the effect of unemployment in society. Unemployment in society causes poverty. Poverty in society causes less access to quality education. Less access to quality education causes unskilled workforce or incompetent workers. Unskilled workforce causes less productivity in companies and factories. Less productivity causes even a higher rate of unemployment. A higher rate of unemployment causes other problems such as higher crime rates. And you can continue. Please write a paragraph, and I will be happy to see your paragraphs in the comment parts. Okay, that's all about using cause and effect general statements in your writing essay using discourse markers as adverbs and verbs. If you liked this video and found it useful, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet and introduce it to your friends and like it. See you in the next videos with new materials about writing and IELTS tips.